Red Canids wants to engage. Goku could just poke them down with rocket barrages. They're looking for a rel engage here as we kick off our final game of the day. Again, we had to have a reschedule for Pain and Liberty. That game was moved to January 27th. So the final game, day one, split one, CBLOL 2022 action. DJ and Fish hopping into the call again. A rematch in name, at least, of last year's playoff teams. We'll see who comes out on top, Red Canids or Rensga. As we see so far, everyone just having a little bit of fun. It looks like we'll set up a Kali in the mid lane, and it'll be Guy go up on top with that Gwen.
And, as you mentioned, right, we mentioned that Rensga won't remember the matchup. Red Canids certainly will, right? And they will remember how elated they were after winning that matchup to qualify for Worlds. This is the same roster, right? Just that mid lane sort of two-man game now with Avenger and Grevthar, but what we want to see from Red with this composition is more of the same from last season. The regular season was fine. The playoff run was everything we could have ever wanted. And we want to see one of the only rosters to keep most of their pieces together hit the ground running, even against the unknown talent that Rensga has brought in for 2022. There's no way. No. They know. Yeah, they're so suspicious. This is sus. This is sus, as the Among Us players would say.
Yeah, they have to know. They want to try to make a play on this Korean bot lane, though. They jump right on top of Hades, but he should be able to get out. Guard now, going to poke down Titan. Titan has to be careful. Does not have the heal. Brought Cleanse instead. Red Canids bot lane wanted to show they're still the best, but that's a great play by Hades and Guard.
Yeah, it's a very normal start, right? We talked about how important the bot lane would be, and when you pick this Rel Samira, it is a kill lane. It has always been a kill lane since spring of 2021, so you want to make an aggressive start. You want to try to get on this Yuumi while she doesn't even have any of her abilities, while there's no shift for the Ezreal, Arcane Shift available, but they're suspicious, right? This bottom lane of Hades and Guard showing some wherewithal, knowing that this is what the enemy bottom lane wants to do with the kill lane, and they are able to turn it around and get a positive trade to start. It's a good first look for these Korean imports.
Goku, as we said, coming up from the academy, but played support, are also getting a little bit of chip damage there on Grevthar. And meanwhile, about the only lane doing well is this top side for Red Canids, but we're going to maybe get a fight here in the jungle. Aegis is there, Minerva's behind him. They're going to see the Xin Zhao coming in, but I don't think that's going to stop him. Majacious Charge is going to land right on top of Hades. He's going to be forced to flash away. Aegis will follow, though, with the flash as well. Exhaust going to go on to Xin Zhao. Titan flashes over the wall. They want First Blood. The crash down will seal it. Guard can't get away either. It was telegraphed, it was seen, and Red Canids still makes it work for First Blood.
Yeah, just absolute boldness in the face of the three-man squad, knowing this Ezreal Yuumi not that strong in lane and seeing that Minerva's just a little bit out of position, and it pays absolutely massive dividends for Red Canids. They get the early kill onto the bot lane, they force them out, and Minerva just couldn't get anything done over the wall. They saw it coming, they knew what was happening, but it just didn't matter, and with no CC coming down from the Viego, it was just doomsday for Hades and Guard.
Everybody burning flash from the side of Red, the bot lane, and Aegis. As you said, it looked like Minerva maybe was like, hey, I pinged it out. Don't go, he's coming down. And he kind of went back, took a stutter step back to his red buff. And that was all the time that Aegis needed to pick up that double kill. And now I think that's going to activate that red bot lane. As you said, they want to play this Rel Samira as a kill lane. And when you put a kill and an assist on a Samira early, yes, you have the Ezreal and the Yuumi, but they're just going to keep that pressure going the whole time on that bottom side of the map.
Yeah, there will still be a threat now with all of the summoner spells down on this Ezreal Yuumi from Titan and JoJo. So Hades and Guard going to have to be a little bit wary for the next couple of minutes that they don't get the wave in a bad position and get free engages off. With the summoners up, you're really not under that much threat from this Rel engage. It's pretty easy to see coming, but with no summoners, it can just be a one-shot, particularly when the level 6s come through.
I think the one thing that's good still for Rensga is they have the Corki that you and I have talked about, and that's the focus, right? And you see, you've got a 10 CS lead on the Akali. You're abusing your range advantage here. Ail's just looking to be a tank. He's looking to be a disruptor, though. Aegis is going to come around and maybe look for a gank. He's going to walk over a ward, though. All right, Rensga, you see the second gank coming, and I think this time Aegis will just walk away.
Yeah, the prospect of ganking a Gragas maybe not as easy as that initial play with the Ezreal pushed up in lane. He could kind of just boop you. He could just dash flash away. So never really found the angle, and good warding from Ale will keep him alive in this lane. Just let him keep scaling up. Nice trade back onto Guigo.
Ego there on the Gwen. Doing pretty good. It looks like it is going to be that Chem Tank Akali that I personally love. Akali, one of my favorite champions. So I don't care how degenerate it is, DJ. I love that she's back in the meta because he got that Thorward shield. And it helps you a little bit against Corki to sustain. If you get that Bomby Cinder, you get that extra HP as opposed to going Assassin Akali. So it makes all the sense in the world. You can hate it all you want, but I'm here for it.
Oh, I hate it. It's disgusting. I mean, he would have taken Doran's shield regardless. You're definitely going to need that in a range versus melee matchup. But assassins should not be tanky. That's not a thing that should be allowed in League of Legends. So everyone out there that's listening, spam this in your solo queue games. Pick ban. Let's get it to 100%. Let's make sure Riot nerfs it as quickly as possible.
I already have Chem Tank nerfs coming, but as you and I talked about, don't think that'll be enough. But again, we're on 12.1, so the Chem Tank nerfs aren't quite here yet. And first dragon just going to be picked up by Red. They just have so much priority in this bot lane, and you see Grevthar is going to rotate down as well. Rensga just simply knowing there's nothing we can do here to contest this outside of maybe throwing the early game away. So it's a Cloud Dragon, it's CBLOL, and we're not too worried about that dragon, honestly.
Yeah, come on. That doesn't give us any combat stats. We don't do that here in CBLOL. We're all about the damage, baby. If it was an Infernal, you bet there'd be bloodshed. But yeah, Cloud, no fun. Movement speed, cooldown reduction. No, it's not cooldown reduction. Ability haste at this stage. Yeah, no, lame. Nice steal, though.
Jungler's going to hop on top of each other. Aegis getting chased down. Ail's right in front of Gigo as we just see Minerva flash in. JoJo's here. Going to crash down to create some distance. Corki's there as well. Aegis will go over the wall, but JoJo's going to get stuck. Grevthar's just going to have to walk away. JoJo trying to save his jungler. Ends up just taking one for the team.
And I absolutely love that from Minerva. Again, I thought there was a little bit of a misplay from him on the initial bottom lane play that Aegis made this time around. No such hesitation. He gets right on to Aegis, forces him away, and JoJo, in his haste to save his jungler, will end up sacrificing his life. Nice fight back from Rensga.
And I mean, Aegis even saved the flash. We talked about how safe that Xin Zhao kid is. He was never worried as long as that red buff up, which it was, because he could just audacious charge over the wall. So a little bit of help, you get an assist on your Corki again. You're trying to get to that 2-3 item power spike to where Corki really just becomes a menace. And that'll help you out there just a little bit. And I think the most shocking thing, DJ, is in CBLOL, we saw a dragon die before the Rift Herald, the first one even spawned.
I know, right? Just a big shakeup here. And it wasn't even a damage drake. We talked about it, right? It's a Cloud Drake. But again, like you prescribed at the time, with the bottom lane as ahead as they are, with the bottom lane of Rensga just being scaling, a little bit harder for them to exert influence around the Drake. But speaking of the Rift Herald, here's all 5 members of Red, and there's the package.
Package right onto the back line for Goku. Both junglers have smite. Exhaust going to land onto Aegis. They want to separate the fight. They get Ale in there as well. Rift Herald will go down. Titan picks up the first one. Gigo's going to pick up the second. It's a triple kill and Rift Herald for the side of Red Canids.
And the communication's just all over the place from Rensga. And this is the difference between a team that has played together for a split, that has stayed together, because all 5 members are on the same page from Red. We want this Rift Herald, and we are going to spend every resource we can to get it. Rensga, their AD carry Hades, was still moving up from bottom lane. They only had 4 members there. They thought they could do it with Package and Corki, but they weren't even close on different pages, and they are roundly punished because of it.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It looked like Goku's plan was, we're going in. I got Package. You guys are behind me, right? And everyone else is like, no, we were just kind of waiting for Hades to actually get up here. And yeah, different pages, as you said, Red. They get to take a look at this replay, and they're kind of just hanging around. Nobody makes a call until Goku just goes in with the Package. It separates Titan, but then it puts Goku and Ale on the wrong side. Grevthar just zones out Minerva, and as you pointed out, the bot lane isn't even on the picture, and there was no way that Rensga was ever winning that fight. Not quite sure what Goku was looking for.
No, yeah, it's just miscommunication with 4 versus 5 without their AD carry. And now looking at a 2k gold deficit at 10 minutes, this should give Red complete control of the early game map. There's another Drake coming up in a minute 30. I would expect that to be very much in their eyes while they hold this power difference over Rensga, who I still very much favor in the later stages. I think they can side lane okay against the Gwen with the Gragas. They have this range and scaling from Hades and Goku, but they are facing a tricky situation in this early game and are going to need to find a way back, whether through turrets, through macro, or through some sort of miraculous fight around an objective.
Grefthar picks up the 3 assists, gets the Bomby Cinder to confirm it is Tank Akali that will be menacing on the Rift. And with that kill onto Goku, Grefthar able to close that gap in that one window where you're saying, okay, you look at this team, where can they win? You and I are on the same page in the draft, DJ. They can win through this Corki, who has a huge advantage over Grefthar in lane. But now that CS difference is minimal. The gold lead's favored towards him. As we get Aegis coming up, he's got Rift Herald. We'll see if he wants to help Gigo out and get some plates. As there's not much AO could do besides just hope the turret can help him out if they tower dive, because this is a Gragas with very limited damage options.
Yeah, diving Gragas is always pretty scary, though. They are going to drop this Rift Herald. I think, well, he's actually going to hold it for now. Interesting that they're not going to place it. It is a little tricky to take a turret against a Gragas, so I actually think the Rift Herald will be well spent in that top lane, but they're just going to try to get it onto Grefthar and accelerate either their bottom lane or this Assassin Akali, as it is. Flash on the top lane. Nicely done by Guigo.
Great job. Gwen is immune, and they are able to sustain that. So Minerva's now top lane, rotating down. This could be a fight. It's a 3-on-2 right now for Red. We'll see if they want to maybe just drop this Rift Herald. Nope, they're going to go down bot lane. It is 3 plates on the bot side of the map, and Israel just back. So that is a free first tower from the Rift Herald if they're able to drop it. I think based on the pings, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to get Grefthar ahead in this bot lane, give him those extra plates, and get that first tower goal.
Yep, pretty good patience from Aegis. And again, this is using the power that Red have earned from themselves on the bottom side early on. They've already moved their bottom lane up to that mid lane to control the central part of the map. Now they're going to take down this turret, give Grefthar a longer side lane to work with against the Gragas. I think this is intelligent play all around, and Red doing a nice job. What we would expect for an experienced team to move their team ahead, as they should take this second Drake completely uncontested. As I say that,
gets caught out by the Lost Chapter there, and he's going to get taken down. I don't think he expected Yuumi to be on top of Minerva. Minerva now coming in. Is he going to be able to steal this? No, did not have the smite. He's going to re-engage with the Shuriken flip there. Aegis is going to pop that Crescent Guard, should just be able to get away, but we see up on the top side of the map, they're going to look to punish him. Ale trying to run away from Titan and Gigo, and I don't think he's going to be able to get away. Tries to body slam to create some distance. Are they going to look to tower dive the Gragas? Titan's still falling.
Titan's going to die.
Oh,
okay. Wow, that was risky. Ooh. That's risky from Titan. If the body slam came back up there, he was very close to dying. Beautifully done from Ale. He was going to get punished as the rest of his team was on the bottom side of the map, but he outplays the attempted dive and at least mitigates the damage cross map.
Are we in the right region, DJ? We're doing dragons on cooldown at this point. What is going on right now?
Yeah, you know, maybe Red just trying to say, we won CBLOL last year. We've got the actual strats. This is how it should be played. But no, again, I think it's more not a situation of the region, but more a situation of the game at hand. You just got so far ahead in your bottom lane early on. I was like, wow, that's an interesting all in. Here comes the jungler.
Here comes the jungler with a Yuumi in tow. Ego's got to be careful. They're going to look for the 3-man dive. No, Gwen almost as hard as Greg is to dive. And they'll... Top laners will continue on in their wet noodle fight, but Gigo keeping the advantage, that CS lead, sitting at about around 15 for the last few minutes.
And they're just going to lose some plates and a wave or two in the mid lane. Hades still being pushed back. You see his CS isn't bad, but he only has doesn't even have a mythic item. Essence Reaver isn't bad into shield bow, but that much bigger spike for Samira is, she's going to block that. The two-shot barrage, too. That's a little unfortunate.
Looking for some chip damage, looking for some wave damage. Neither of those going to work. Plates will fall, so unleash teleport for...
That's a lot of gold from plates right there.
Yeah, it was a great play by Aegis with the Rift Herald we talked about, right? Like, we thought he was going to go top, then he rotates bot, or mid. Okay, I'm not going to drop it mid. They played that perfectly with that Rift Herald that they picked up that also had a few kills, and they're going to be right on top of this next objective. Red has dominated the objective game, as you expect. Of course, the world's representative bringing back the full 6-man lineup, and they are taking care of business so far, 14 minutes in their first game of 2020.
Yeah, they've looked really, really organized, right? That early play from Aegis getting them ahead is all they needed to continue to pull these triggers. They've been pretty much on every objective at spawn, moving multiple resources across the map, really flexing their power to take these early objectives. And Rensga's basically just had to take it. They've drafted a composition that will not come online until 2 items, until later portion of the game. They're just trying to get whatever gold they can in their back pockets, but Red continues to punish them with some, honestly, pretty good macro. Maybe it's surprising for us here in the CBLOL region, but as a couple people might have mentioned, maybe Red picked something up for World Championship.
Red now roaming down. They have Minerva, Goku, and Yumi all caught out here. They're going to jump onto Goku. The Valkyrie's going to get stopped. Final chapter to try and root them. There is the Akali, though. Tank or not, True Shot Barrage will chip them down. Don't have any more perfect execution, so they'll at least pick up one. But now without the Corki, you don't have a great amount of poke to be able to stop this. It's only the Ezreal, and everyone's just going to reset. A great play by Reds. Again, the communication on point for our defending CBLOL champs.
And Rensga's really got to find a way to stop the bleeding at this point, right? The map is just so wide open. Red's finding plays at every angle. They're finding overextended members greeting for gold. And with a Drake coming up in a minute 30 for Soul Point, Fish, this timer is really starting to work against Rensga. Yes, they still have that late game assurance with the Yumi, the Ezreal, the Corki, but you have to get there, right? Corki's only on 1.5 items. He hasn't even completed the Muramana. And Ezreal's still working towards that 2-item spike. They're nowhere near hitting their power, and Red just continues to accelerate this game away from him. If they get onto Soul Point, they can use that as a macro bait to try to put Rensga into a fight they don't want to take too early on into the game.
The best way to stop a scaling comp sometimes, DJ, is just end the game before the scaling starts. And as you said, Goku's still looking to finish that Muramana. Ezreal's still looking for a mythic item. We're probably about 5 minutes away, unless Rensga wins a fight and gets some bonus gold from those shutdowns, from them really being online. As you said, I mean, this dragon in 30 seconds, but Minerva's basically already sending the message. That dragon is yours for the taking. He's top side of the map. He can't rotate down and fast enough. In fact, they want to try and dive onto Grefthar, but this is an Akali. You're not even getting close. This is a free Soul Point Drake for Red, and there's nothing Rensga really even wants to do about it.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to funnel gold into Goku at this point, right? Send 3 members up, try to take this turret. They recognize that they're nowhere near strong enough to fight at this Drake. I mean, you're fighting into a 3-0-2 Samira. Titans 3-0-2 Samira. It's so easy for them to just wipe this fight away when you're on your 1-item power spikes on... When you're on 1-item spikes, excuse me, I wouldn't call them power spikes on these scaling champions. So as painful as it is to give it up, I think this might be the right call from Rensga. Get whatever gold you can and get yourself ready to try to fight at the Soul Drake that will be available in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that Drake doesn't win you the game if you're Rensga, but I'm with you, DJ. That could lose you the game if you try and send the whole team. You lose 3 or 4, maybe even 5 members on that fight. I like the play, and now I think the interesting debate for Red becomes, do you bait Soul Point to just pick up a free Baron and look for that trade in 4.5 minutes? I know Baron's on the map a little bit quicker, but Rensga has to go to the next Drake. There's no question about it. Red can just say, fine, if you want one Inferno Drake, we can take Baron and look to just keep shoving this game because they have so many turrets taken down where Rensga only has the one on the bot side.
Yeah, I think it's a great question, Fish, and I think that will actually get us an early season glimpse of how Red's macro game is coming into the new season with this same lineup. Because I agree with you. I think it would be very clever to give up a Drake for the Baron, right? You can really use that to open this map up, and if you look at the Red composition, one thing they're really not that good at is sieging. They don't really have any range. They don't really have any way to soften up the enemy. They kind of just have to dive in on you as fast as they possibly can to get Titan his resets, to get him that spin to win ability. So getting the Baron would be a massive step in opening the base. And I do think you can sack a Drake or 2 if that is your prize.
That's the one concern where Red, if they get far enough ahead, it doesn't become a concern. But as you said, they can't siege. Corki Ezreal will just laugh at you as you try and take down an inhibitor turret. It will laugh at you as you try and take down a tier 2 tower. They will spam you to death, especially the more items they get. So there is this sort of internal clock Red needs to be working on of, we have to start to finish this game, otherwise we're in a spot where we can't siege. They can just poke us down, and then if Rensga gets a nice chip damage or 2 from a True Shot Barrage or from a Rocket Barrage, they can just jump on you and eliminate you. So there's an internal clock that Red has to deal with, despite how dominant they've looked at this game, that eventually everything just goes Rensga's way no matter what the score is.
Yeah, fortunately for them, they've extended that clock, right? They initially they had a wristwatch, you know, then it became like a bigger Armin watch or whatever it is, and now they're working with like the full on like Alice in Wonderland rabbit like clock that dude holds in his hand. It's like there's time. There's some time with this 4K gold lead that you've earned for yourself for Red, but they will have to take those big steps to finally open up the base and end this game. As a bit of a trap being set for Grefthar. It doesn't look like he's going to fall into it.
Greftar has the flash in case he needed to get away. It is interesting. Guard is basically decided, I'm going to pocket Minerva, basically make it anywhere the jungler goes. Instead of a 2-on-1, it's a 3-on-1. So we get a 3-on-3 here over the Rift Scuttle. It immediately goes in Aegis' favor. Baron is up. Dragon is up in 2 minutes. No one's really made a move. And speaking of clocks, DJ, if you get Infernal Soul somehow for Red, that clock's an hourglass in terms of how long it's going to take Rensga to get online. And I think Red knows that, and that might be why they want this Infernal. But so far, I don't expect anything of any major interest to happen in the next 2 minutes, because both these teams know how important that next Dragon is.
Yep, agree there. And the next 2 minutes, what's going to be important is that vision game, right? And how does Red approach this Drake? Both teams going to have a little bit of what's called, or I refer to as the your time, my time. It's going to go back and get wards. You can see 2 wards in the inventory for Rensga at the moment, 3 in the inventory for Red, but getting that initial vision around the Drake will be so important, because remember what we said in draft, right? When you're dealing with this poke composition, whether ahead or behind, the way you want to approach the fight is finding a flank. If you are JoJo in particular, what helps you find that flank? A whole lot of vision control. So let's keep an eye on Red as they set up for this Drake, and whether they're going to trade it or whether they will set up the vision and have JoJo look for that killer flank.
Also have the objective bounties online. A nice chunk of gold could go to Goku and company if they're able to pick up that top tier 1 or even that mid tier 1. And as we set up about 60 seconds from the Dragon fight that I think you and DJ are on the same page, we haven't seen Rensga win a fight yet. Their only fight really was Goku just using the package to fly in. So walk us through it. How do you let Rensga win a fight here over Dragon to be able to get back in this game?
A little tricky right now. They are still pretty far behind. They do have a nice boost that the Corki now has 2 items and that upgraded Moramana. Ezreal about to upgrade his as well, but only 30 seconds remaining. And winning a fight here, keep him at range, poke him down, and then use that package that you now have onto Goku to find your killer moment. But don't go too quickly, or you'll just give Titan the reset.
They're going to take this before Greftar can get down. Titan has to flash over the wall with the package right on top of him. The stopwatch with a sliver of HP, but he is dead meat. They'll trade 1-for-1 for the AD carries, though, but now the rest of Red has to disengage at very low HP with Greftar dashing out with the perfect execution. Rel just trying to soak damage, but JoJo will go down. Ale now is the frontline beef. They call the play before Greftar can get there, and they absolutely obliterate Titan, and this Infernal Drake is theirs for the taking. And they might have Greftar, too.
Yeah, that's a massive win for Rensga, and props to Ale for the initial engage. He knocks up Titan. That instantly triggers Goku to hit the package, and they delete him before he can get his ultimate off. Before he can really do anything with the damage removed, it's head for the hills for Red Canids, and Rensga have given themselves a way back into this game.
Not to mention, they get the objective bounties as well. That Dragon, even more important. That tower they pick up, as you see that gold lead shrinks down to just under 2K. And that, as you said, TJ, was a perfect trigger pull by Ale, realizing Greftar still rotating down. They had Titan in a very awkward spot, even with the great flash over the wall and the stopwatch. No one was close to him. And we're 1 for 2 for Goku. First package, a lot to be desired. Second package, near perfect. And now we'll see what Red can do. They still have the advantage. They might pull a trigger here, looking to start something on Baron. Ego gonna have to walk away, gets caught by Ale, gonna use the Hallowed Mist, and it's gonna block the True Shot Barrage as it rips through the back line. Minerva forced to flash over the wall. There's no package for Goku. This time, the Shuriken toss barely misses. And everyone for Rensga stays alive, but they have to use a ton to not die.
Yeah, a lot of flashes. Actually, all of the flashes now down. We don't count Yumi. Yumi doesn't take flash, thank God. But all of the available flashes for Rensga are now down. So 1 more catch is all it would take for Red. They themselves are down to 1, the only one remaining, or excuse me, 2 on JoJo and Greftar.
Perfect execution is down for Greftar, though. Of course, that's what makes the Chem Tank that much stronger with all the mobility you cover. So he'll have to wait. It's about halfway on cooldown, as we see here. They're doing the Baron dance, these 2 teams are, but now JoJo's caught low health. Has to crash down to get to safety. Minerva wants to chase, and Red might have overstayed their welcome. They see JoJo at low life. Minerva wants to jump onto him. Can't quite find it. Now Red's been pushed off the Baron. The smite will go over to Minerva. We'll see what happens now, or if both teams will just choose to disengage.
Rensga is looking so bold all of a sudden. I mean, the timer, we were talking about the clock having a lot of time, and it was very quickly reduced back to a wristwatch. Now it might be one of those like tiny digital watches. Maybe it's like your microwave watch, right? Red is starting to run out of a little bit of time. They still have a nice little out in the fact that they're one Drake away from that Infernal Soul, but the gold lead's only 1K. Ezreal has hit his 2-item spike. Goku is working towards a 3rd item, and you saw what he did on 2 items. So they're starting to turn just a little bit. And we look at the inventories of the Red Canids players. Nobody has any heal cut yet against the Yuumi.
You have to think that's coming soon for someone. Maybe Grevthar, maybe Gigo. But the fact that we're 25 minutes in, and now look at all the vision control that Rensga's going to have around this Baron. They're going to pick up the Rift Scuttle. They're going to take care of the lone pink board that Red had. And now, Dragon in 2 minutes. So it's still a clock ticking against Rensga, though, with that Infernal Soul. Though, Gigo might get caught out here. I don't know if Minerva wants to fight with the needlework up. And everyone will just disengage. And I'm curious, DJ, if Rensga pulls the trigger on Baron, or if they say, we'll just farm and we want to fight at this next Drake because it's worked so well for them.
I mean, Rensga's happy to farm for as long as time allows them to farm fish. And every piece of gold that goes into Goku and Hades' back pocket is just going to make them better off in the late game. It gets so tricky for Red to approach them once they hit these 3-item power spikes, particularly if they don't buy any heal cut to deal with guards Yuumi. So any time available to them is time that they will take. No need to rush. So whenever Red approaches an objective that they want to take, that's when Rensga has to answer. Otherwise, they're just happy to sit here and continue to absorb pressure for as long as the game will allow them.
And the thing that, again, that every time either the Akali or the Gwen backs, the first thing I want to look at, okay, where's the heal cut? And we see the needlessly large rod picked up there for Grevthar. So again, they're not looking for any way to stop what this Yuumi could do. I guess maybe the logic is we'll just burst down whoever Yumi's trying to heal before Yuumi can heal them, but you're just allowing Goku and Hades to be that much more safe as we're going to get a teleport down to the bot side with 40 seconds left on Dragon. Gigo did not want to get caught. Remember, the last fight Rensga won, they were still having members rotate down. They don't want to have that happen. This time, all 5 members are already around this Dragon Pit. You can see Grevthar, bottom of your screen, around that red buff, hovering. He wants to get the engage, and watch out for the package for Goku here as well.
Grevthar on the flank. They have spotted out Jojo, so would have to be a huge flank from Grevthar and the assassination.
They don't know Grevthar's there. Goku, very close. The ward will give him away. He had walked out of the bush, however. Grevthar's gank absolutely thrown away. Infernal will spawn. We'll see if Aegis wants to hop onto it. They're waiting for a package. Aegis and Titan are going to hop onto it. Grevthar's still on the back line, but he's on a ward now. Titan takes a ton of damage. They're going to jump onto Gigo. He's all alone. The Hollowed Mist doesn't matter when they stand on top of it. Gwen barely staying alive with the final chapter. Takes him down. Infernal Soul goes over to Red, but that might not be it. They're going to see Grevthar jump on the back line. Hades is dead. Stopwatch will end for Aegis. He will go down. Goku has to use his Zanya's at little HP. He will fall, and Red will pick up the 8th. Near ace as Yuumi will eventually fall. She's not getting out of that one. They'll have a little fun with it. Now they'll get the ace. They'll get the Infernal Soul, and I think Rensga just sold way too hard on Gigo there.
Yeah, it's a massive team fight from Red, and that's all it is. It is a team fight outplay, particularly from Titan and Grevthar. When we see the replay, you'll see Grevthar find damage onto the critical carries. First, he's able to knock down Hades. Then he comes back and is able to get onto Goku right as Titan gets to his Inferno trigger. Those 2 members stay alive long enough. They find the critical moments and they carry this fight for a so great reaction time from Titan. And that's going to be the Soul and the Baron over to Red. They once again take full control over Summoner's Rift.
Now that time is on a sand dial at this point for Rensga. And as you said, that was a phenomenal play. And I think maybe Rensga kind of fell into, I don't know if it was intentional from Grevthar, but again, when Rensga won their one fight, it was because not everyone was there. They knew where Grevthar was because of some good warding and some stepping outside of a bush. And I guess they thought, look, Grevthar is going to take forever to get back to our team. If we kill Gigo, he won't be able to survive. But that Hollowed Mist, even with players standing in it, Gwen able to stay immune long enough to buy time for his team. And Gigo absolutely baits everybody in. And the rest of Red just wraps it all up.
Yep, Guigo, I think they thought they could take him down quickly. I also think Goku needed to package away. I think he felt under threat from Grevthar on that flank. Here's an engage.
They're going to jump
Oh, wow.
right
Goodbye.
onto Titan. Take them out. Now Age is going to get hit by the exhaust. They should be able to pick up one more Crescent Guard to try and keep him safe. As soon as it falls, though, I think, yeah, Goku and company should be able to chase him down as soon as that falls. Nice audacious charge plus the smite for the heal. Trying to stay alive, but not going to be able to. Now JoJo gets caught out by Hades, and 3 members of Red with Baron just die. Gigo is able to pick up the bot inhibitor, and Revstar is able to pick up the tier 2 top, but that's not the trade you want. Losing 3 members with Baron for 2 towers.
Oh, welcome back to CBLOL, everybody. Fish, what just happened? This game was completely in Red's hands. I was just about to start talking about the setup, right? You want to get your mid lane push, then let Guigo with these Baron minions slowly work his way up bot lane. He can start chipping away at the turret while you hold them at bay in the mid lane. Wait for your moment to collapse. But no, they go too far. They don't get their vision set up right, and it's Ale again with the initial pickoff that obliterates Titan. Once Titan's down, there is no fear from Rensga. They hunt down multiple members, and while a turret does go down in the bottom lane, that's it, right? That's all you got for your Baron power play is 1,500 gold, but you did not really break the base open. You only got that bottom lane with a Baron inhibitor, and it's a bit of a reset on the game state with Elder coming up in 2.5 minutes.
Elder fight is going to be the one that might officially push Rensga back in. But you and I saw, when we saw the Gragas pick, I think both of our eyes kind of lit up off screen, and we kind of liked that pick because of the disruption it provides. And really the initial CC that Titan doesn't have a great way to stop. He has to use the Blade Roll to stop the True Shot Barrage. Gragas just walks right on top of you with the Body Slam. I think Ale has played this perfectly on the Gragas. I mean, 0-2-7 is not the sexiest scoreline, DJ, but he's the reason that every single fight, I think you and I have to respect it. They have a chance to win because Ale can CC a member who can usually jump on either Hades or Goku.
Oh, brother Fish. That 0-2-7 is the sexiest scoreline you can have as a Gragas, because Gragas is not a sexy character either. He's a big drinking man, but he is the setup. He is the tank. He is the damage absorber, and Ale has done that to perfection. He has started off 3 great engages in this game. That's the sexiest scoreline as you could possibly see with this big man.
90 seconds till Elder. Baron buff have fallen off the 2 remaining members of Red. Everyone should have everything up for this Elder fight unless somebody takes a fight that they're caught off on, but everything should be up. Items, summoners, all of that jazz. And I'm curious, I think the guy to watch is Ale, as you pointed it out. It's Ale and Goku. Gigo goes over the wall, but is on a ward. What can Corky do if he has the package? Will it be a good package or a bad package, DJ? And that's basically what every fight has come down to at this point. Is Goku going in smartly, or is Goku inting in?
I think the packages have been pretty fine this game. I think he felt that he needed to package in the last Dragon fight, felt under threat from Grevthar, but yeah, I mean, package can absolutely turn the fight. We've seen it in every single game that Corky's been a part of. It's part of why he's so unbelievably strong at the moment, of course, and I'll have to go back and pick that one up. The Dragon is coming up in 40 seconds. You can already see Red trying to do their due diligence this time and actually set up their line of vision. So they're learning within the game, but be a little late at this point. They've made a couple mistakes and looked at those long range carries. 4 items on Corky, 3.5 on this Ezreal.
TP back in from Ale. Everyone's at full health.
Grevthar. Okay.
Grevthar,
they got him.
Fool me once, shame on you. Package is up for Goku as well. Elder's up in 10 seconds. Aegis takes a huge chunk of damage. Grevthar,
does this look like deja vu or what?
It really does. This time they know exactly where Grevthar is, and I think they're going to try and find it out. He'll flip over the wall, but he's going to get stuck. He barely survives. Elder nearly picks him off, but Grevthar is going to have to back and TP into this fight. He does have the Unleashed teleport.
There's the package.
Takes a ton of damage. There's the package onto the backline. They know Grevthar's useless. Titan walking away. He's the first one to fall. Guigo is going to go down as well. Aegis will walk away, but that is a free Elder Dragon. You said it looked like deja vu, but Rensga knew exactly what to do that time.
Yeah, there's the fool me once, shame on me, right? They recognized the same setup, and this time, Goku level 18, 4 items with a Yumi on his back, says absolutely not Grevthar, just hunts him down, dashes right onto him. Grevthar barely lives. Titan actually with his W, but then Goku just goes to town, rocket after rocket, chunking out the members. And this is the realization of the scaling that we have been talking about all game. That is the late game Corki. That is the late game Ezreal. And Canids just can't do anything about it. They get chunked out before the fight even starts. They have to give up the Elder Drake, and now they are facing down the barrel of a fully loaded Rensga comp.
Baron is up. We'll see if Rensga pulls the trigger there, or with their Elder Dragon buff, just want to simply shove because, again, they picked up Elder. They win that fight, but thanks to our objective bounties, DJ, they still get bonus gold on these next 3 turrets. They, even though it feels like they're in command, they could really blow this game wide open with one more team fight with a couple of objectives being picked up. That Baron as well would be a huge chunk of change in their pocket, in addition to everything else it does. Red really feeling the heat, as we talked about, from all the scaling, but also just the objective bounty. Nearly Titan gets one shot. We get a look there. If you're Red, one more fight, you lose so much gold, you can't really afford to lose another fight as Aegis has to walk away.
Yeah, I mean, if Red loses another fight, they might not lose the game just because how many turrets are still on the map, but at 36, you're risking it. If Rensga loses a fight, they definitely lose. With that bottom lane open, you can see they're trying to make a play. Guigo split pushing as this Baron goes down.
Aegis has the flash, gonna go over the wall, but he cannot pick it up. He's dead into rights as soon as that Sterix falls. We'll have a Guardian Angel, but I don't think it's going to save much. But as you said, Guigo is pushing. Guigo looks like they're able to get an inhibitor, but now they have to run away from Ale, and with that Infernal Dragon buffs, Gragas is a bit scarier. Ale now still has to run away with the needlework, shredding him. Here comes the rest of the cavalry, though. Guigo, final chapter, going to land the root. They'll stopwatch, but it's not going to save them. As that Elder, they try and heal through it. They can't quite do it. Baron, plus a couple.
Wait, there's a TP. They're looking for Titan.
It's Ale TPing. Goku's racing down, but no package. I think they just want to see if they can end this game before Aegis and Guigo can get back on the map. They have Baron, they have Elder for a few more seconds. They have everything.
Yeah, they really do, and the timers are against them. 30 seconds on Guigo. There's no protection. Grevthar has TP, but there's no real wave for him to go to. They need a miracle fight here, do Red Canids, to keep their game alive.
Aegis up now. Guigo up in 24. Can they stall off long enough is the question. Elder has fallen. Grevthar trying to buy time, but Baron's still there. We'll see what they focus on. They're going to dash in for one last attempt. Guigo not alive. Grevthar getting blown up. Has the perfect execution. R2 out of the fight. First Nexus turret falls. They'll try and focus onto the second one. Aegis, last dash. Hades dropping low. The Crescent Guard and Sterix Gage both keep him alive. Jojo going to use the stoppage watch, but the Nexus is fully naked and exposed. Can Guigo, who respawns, do enough damage? Down. He snipes out one. He forces the stopwatch from Goku there, but Goku's able to create some distance. And the Zanyas keeps him alive. Guigo, though, still chasing down. I think they have enough disengage.
Goku.
They got him! Careful, it's a triple kill. Can he pick up 2 more? It's Gragas. 1 more for the Penta for Reds, and Guigo has just won the game for Red Canids off the spawn.
Oh my God, Fish! I don't believe it. From the jaws of defeat, Red Canids behind a Guigo Penta are gonna pick up their first win of the split.
Guigo plays phenomenal.